Welcome the students of CST department. Today we will learn from today onwards we will have classes on analog electronics, the remaining part of analog electronics, why the concept of digital electronics is required, that you will understand as the class goes on. As the classes progress, you will understand why the concept of digital electronics is required to understand. In today's class only you may understand the things why I have taught you digital electronics concept before analog electronics. So we have one chapter remaining, that is Schmitt trigger and multivibrator. This chapter, this part today I am going to teach you Schmitt trigger. Schmitt trigger is nothing but an advanced application of op-amp. So before knowing Schmitt trigger, you need to know about op-amp. An op-amp is known as operational amplifier. It has two terminals. One is non-inverting terminal. Why non-inverting? Because if you give any wave, sine wave, cosine wave, if you give any wave like sine wave or cosine wave, it will give you that same wave only, same wave only. Whatever you give in the output will be you will get the whatever you will give you in the input, you will give same type of output at the output terminals. That's why positive terminal is known as non-inverting terminal and negative terminal is known as inverting terminal. Why? If you give sine wave in a normal manner, you will get the output in an inverted manner. If you give like that, you will get an output like this in non-inverting terminal, minus V terminal, negative terminal. So this is here. So our Schmitt trigger has two terminals. One is positive, that is non-inverting terminal. One is negative, that is inverting terminal. So Schmitt trigger is known as an application of op-amp which has two terminals, non-inverting and inverting terminals. Op-amp, basically we are dealing with ideal op-amp. So there are some characteristics of ideal op-amp. That's like very high sales, common mode rejection ratio, infinite input, infinite voltage gain, zero infinite input impedance, zero output impedance, very high infinite bandwidth. These are the characteristics of an ideal op-amp. Here, this op-amp will consider as an op-amp that is ideal condition. This is an ideal op-amp. An op-amp which is in ideal condition. So let us check the mathematical calculation of Schmitt trigger. This is our V1 is connected through resistance with the inverting terminal. This is inverting terminal. Now the non-inverting terminal has two resistance connected, R1 and R2. R1 is faded back from output to non-inverting terminal directly. This is R1 is faded back from output to non-inverting terminal directly. Then it is grounded by using the resistance R2. So non-inverting terminal is connected with two resistances, R1 and R2. Let's find out the output of this op-amp. Let us consider this node. You need to know the nodal analysis to calculate the output voltage of an op-amp. This resistance is V0. This nodal voltage. This voltage is V0. This nodal voltage is X. So let us consider this current as I1. I1 passing through the feedback terminal from V0 to nodal voltage X with the help of resistance R1, through the resistance R1. So this is I1, again from X nodal voltage to ground, I2 current is passing. So because this is an ideal op-amp, we have assumed ideal op-amp. Ideal op-amp has infinite input impedance and zero output impedance. So there is no internal voltage drop between the op-amp. So when you will study op-amp, you will understand the different types of voltage analysis by using adder, subtractor, inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier, integrator, differentiator, voltage to current amplifier. Schmitt trigger is one of them. Logarithmic amplifier. This you will analyze when you will study op amp. So op amp is not in your syllabus. So you will study. So let's quickly check the output. This of this Schmitt trigger. How to get the output? Then we will start the actual one. This I1 and this I2 both are equal because there is no internal voltage drop. Assuming the op amp is ideal, infinite input impedance, zero output impedance, so there will be no internal voltage drop in the op amp. So I1 is equal to this nodal voltage minus this nodal voltage by R1. This nodal voltage is V0. It's starting. The current is generated from the voltage V0, output voltage. It ends at the nodal voltage X. So V0 minus X by R1 is equal to X by R2. So R1 X is equal to V0 is equal to 1 plus R1 by R2 X. This is quite. See, non-inverting terminal is one type of grounded. Non-inverting terminal is grounded through R2 resistance. So this is 1 plus R1 by R2 into X. So 1 plus R1 by R2 into X. This is non-inverting terminal is grounded. So through resistance R1. So X is equal to R2 by R1 plus R2 into V0. R2 by R1 plus R2 into V0. We have got the value of this nodal voltage X. Now for an ideal op amp, the output is saturated between V saturation voltage to minus V saturation voltage. Maximum an ideal op amp can work. That means we have restricted the op amp voltage between plus V sat to minus V sat. The op amp the output of the op amp will be in between plus V sat to minus V sat. Suppose plus V sat is 15 voltage. So minus V sat will be minus 15 voltage. The output you will obtain after the operation will be restricted between plus V sat to minus V sat. So X1. Now let us consider for plus V sat. How to obtain the upper threshold voltage? R2 into V sat by R1 plus R2. This is called upper threshold. And minus R2 into V sat divided by R1 plus R2 is equal to lower threshold. When V0 is V sat, that is upper threshold. When V0 is minus V sat, that is lower threshold. Now, if you differentiate between upper threshold voltage and lower threshold voltage, you will get hysteresis width. This is the difference between upper threshold voltage and the lower threshold voltage. If you differentiate between R2 into V sat divided by R1 plus R2 minus of R2 into V sat divided by R1 plus R2, that is twice R2 into V sat divided by R1 plus R2. It is called hysteresis width. The distance, the magnitude of the value of the distance between upper threshold voltage and the lower threshold voltage. Remember, we have restricted our ideal op amp output voltage between plus V sat to minus V sat. That means after all the related operation, if you find out the output of this formula, V0 equal to, if you find out the output through this formula, V0 is equal to 1 plus R1 by R2 into X. V0 equal to 1 plus R1 by R2 into X. If you use that formula, X, because internal resistance, input impedance, or the internal resistance is infinite input impedance. The resistance between inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal is infinite. So current will not go between inverting terminal V1. Inverting terminal is connected through R2 resistance with V1. So current will not go from inverting terminal to non-inverting terminal because of the infinite resistance means it is open circuit. See VOC. It is open circuit. Current cannot go in an ideal through an ideal open circuit. So current is not allowed to pass through an ideal open circuit. This is open circuit because input impedance is infinite. This is open circuit because input impedance is infinite. So current cannot go from V1 to X. So whatever X is equal to V1 because X minus V1 by infinity is equal to I. So I is equal to 0, 1 by infinity means 0, 0 into X minus V1. So I is equal to 0. Because R here input resistance Z, input resistance Z, Zin is equal to infinity. So no current is flowing, that means we will assume this voltage and this voltage are equal in potential. So you can find out the output by using this voltage. You will see the output will be restricted between plus Vsat to minus Vsat. A value you will get that that should be equal to either plus that should be within the value between plus Vsat to minus Vsat. That means plus V saturation voltage to minus V saturation voltage. You will get an output that will be within the value, within the restricted value between plus Vsat to minus Vsat. So our hysteresis width is twice R2 into plus V into Vsat divided by R1 plus R2. This is the diagram for Vsat. This is the diagram for actually upper threshold voltage, and this is the diagram for actually lower threshold voltage. How to find out the lower threshold voltage from this graph? This curve is cutting the input. This is input voltage axis. This is output voltage axis. The curve is cutting the input voltage axis at a certain point. This is upper threshold. And the curve is cutting this graph. In this graph, the curve is cutting out input voltage axis at a certain point. So this is lower threshold voltage. If you differentiate between upper threshold and lower threshold, this is called hysteresis width. You will see this is the hysteresis width. So output is bounded between upper threshold and lower threshold voltage. This is the characteristics curve of a Schmitt trigger. Now, what is the problem? Why we use Schmitt trigger? What is the application of Schmitt trigger? Schmitt trigger is basically used for square wave generator. You see, this is a sine wave. Suppose we have used a sine wave that is called 10 sine omega t. 10 sine omega t. Suppose we use a sine wave that is called 10 sine omega t. With the help of this input voltage, we are able to generate this square wave generator. We are able to generate this square wave. So this square wave is like this, but the problem is shattering. Sometimes repeated noise signal, repeated random noise signal is generated within the square wave or in between two square wave pulse. In between two square wave pulse, some repetitive noise signal is getting generated. If you see in the lab, if you construct this circuit in the lab Schmitt trigger, if you see and at the output, you will see some repetitive square wave pulse is getting generated between the two successive square wave pulse. So this phenomenon, this incident is called chattering. In order to remove chattering, we use Schmitt trigger to get a perfect square wave pulse after Schmitt triggering. So this is our Schmitt trigger. This is the upper threshold voltage, this is the lower threshold voltage, this is the hysteresis width. This is the diagram for upper threshold, lower threshold and hysteresis width. This is the actual diagram of an ideal Schmitt trigger by using an ideal op amp. We have given an input of sine wave. We have got a square wave output at the output terminal. And you can find out the amplitude of any problem. If you suppose you have assigned a problem. Suppose you are assigned a problem, that is, we have given you the R1, R2 values. We have given you the plus Vsat or minus plus Vsat values, output saturation voltage of op amp. You can easily find out the hysteresis width with the help of these formulas. You can easily find out the upper threshold voltage, lower threshold voltage and the hysteresis width by using these three formulas. So problems may not come in the exam, but you need to understand the concept of Smith trigger. A short notes may come. What is Smith trigger? Write a short notes on Smith trigger. So you will have to first you have to describe op-amp, then this circuit diagram of Smith trigger, then how to calculate the upper threshold voltage, lower threshold voltage, this sort of diagrams, this curve for upper threshold voltage, lower threshold voltage, and this diagram, this is the input signal and this is the output of the Smith trigger. Also you have to show the chattering, why chattering is happening, you have to explain how this can be removed by using Smith trigger, that also you will have to explain. So in the next class, shortly after this video, I will give you another video on 555 timer.